Welcome back to Kleppers Corner, where we make sense of the news so you don't have to throw your phone into Lake Michigan every time a push notification arrives. It's September 3rd, 2025, and today's headlines read like the world's messiest group project. Trump is flexing his federal muscles like a bodybuilder at a Planet Fitness. China and Russia are hosting the geopolitical version of Coachella. Kraft Heinz is splitting in two like an indecisive PB&J. Google's in antitrust detention but still smug. Science is curing Parkinson's while AI breaks down like your cousin's Dodge Neon, and the NFL is banning end zone gun gestures, which, sorry folks, was probably the only thing the Jets had left. Let's dig in. Segment 1, Trump turned Chicago into his own military theme park. So President Trump has decided that the solution to Chicago's problems is tanks. Because when you think of reducing crime in America's cities, nothing says community trust like Humvees parked outside your local Walgreens. He's called Chicago a hellhole, which, honestly, is a bold statement considering Mar-a-Lago exists. Trump says he has an obligation because in 2.5 weeks, 20 people were killed and 75 shot. That's tragic, but his solution is to send in the National Guard because nothing calms gun violence like giving more people more guns and putting them in camo. It's like solving alcoholism by opening a new tequila bar. Governor J.B. Pritzker called it unhinged and an invasion, which is political speak for, what the hell are you doing in my backyard? Meanwhile, a federal judge literally ruled this same stunt in Los Angeles illegal, warning that Trump is basically building a national police force with himself as chief, which, say what you will about the Founding Fathers, but I don't think the Constitution included Commander-in-Cheeto as a valid branch of government. Tangential thought. At this point, I think Chicago's best defense isn't lawyers or politicians. It's just to tell Trump that deep dish pizza is technically lasagna and watch him retreat in rage. Segment 2, the U.S. kinetic strike in the Caribbean. The administration also dropped a kinetic strike in the Caribbean because apparently we're doing Call of Duty DLC in real life now. 11 alleged narco-terrorists from Venezuela's Tren de Aragua group were killed. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said, "This won't stop here," which is terrifying because that's usually what villains say before they get punched by Captain America. Venezuela's Maduro called it an imperialist plot and rallied his militia, which, let's be honest, is about as intimidating as rallying the local high school chess club. Look, maybe this really was about drugs. Or maybe Trump just thought kinetic strikes sounded cool and wanted to say it during a rally. Either way, this is how you get from war on drugs to war on pina coladas. Segment 3, the Epstein files dump. Congress just released 33,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein files. 33,000 pages. That's not transparency, that's a hostage situation for your eyeballs. The kicker? Most of it is stuff we already knew. Flight logs, victim interviews, court filings. They even threw in the missing minute of the jail video, which is like finding the bonus track on a Nickelback album. It's there, but no one's life is better for it. This was clearly political theater. The committee dumped everything at once so they could say, "See, we released it, nothing to hide," while drowning any real new information in the paperwork equivalent of a Costco bulk buy. And of course, polls show most Americans still believe the government is hiding something, which, of course we do. When the government hands you 33,000 pages, it's because the real secret is on page 33,001. Segment 4, global flexing. China, Russia, and North Korea. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Xi Jinping hosted a massive military parade in Tianjin with his buddies Putin and Kim Jong-un. If you're wondering what the vibe was, imagine the Axis of Evil doing a TikTok collab. They're doing naval drills called Maritime Interaction 2025. Translation, let's practice submarine tag until America gets nervous. And to lock it in, Russia signed a pipeline deal to sell even more gas to China. Because nothing screams stability like tying your economy to Vladimir Putin, the man who treats annexation like a personal hobby. This is about optics. Democracies are messy. Coups in Thailand, lawsuits in America. But autocrats, they can roll tanks down the street and call it Tuesday. It's like comparing your family Thanksgiving to Kim Jong-un's Christmas dinner. One is awkward and ends in tears. The other is compulsory karaoke with no survivors. Segment 5, Kraft Heinz breaks up, Buffett cries into his ketchup. Back in corporate land, Kraft Heinz is splitting into two companies. Apparently, macaroni and ketchup synergy wasn't the golden goose Wall Street thought it would be. So now we'll have Global Taste Elevation Co., Heinz, Philadelphia, Fancy Stuff, and North American Grocery Co., Oscar Mayer, Kraft Singles, Lunchables, which basically means one company gets avocado toast and the other gets your sad middle school cafeteria tray. Warren Buffett, who helped engineer the merger, admitted they overpaid. Translation? Yeah, even billionaires sometimes buy junk food at 3 a.m. and regret it the next morning. Segment 6, Google's antitrust victory. Google got nailed for antitrust violations but escaped a breakup because the judge said, "Don't worry, AI will keep them in check." Yes, our legal system is now outsourcing trust to Skynet. The ruling forces Google to share some search data with rivals, but lets them keep Android, Chrome, and their mega deal with Apple. Google's stock went up 7%, which is Wall Street's way of saying, yes, please keep spying on us, Daddy Google. Let's be honest, the only real competition Google faces is when you try to search "why is my dog sad" and end up lost in a Reddit thread about raccoon astrology. Segment 7, science is slow, AI is fast, and both are weird. On the science side, researchers found that overworking dopamine neurons might literally cause Parkinson's. Apparently, neurons can burn out, like interns at Goldman Sachs. Huge discovery, potentially game-changing therapies. Meanwhile, another team mapped a protein fossil from an ancient virus hiding in our DNA. It could lead to targeted cancer treatments, which is incredible but also terrifying because apparently we're walking Jurassic Parks. And then there's AI. OpenAI's ChatGPT crashed globally, which is hilarious because half the world now relies on it to write emails that say, "per my last email." Anthropic raised $13 billion. Microsoft is installing AI in every government agency, and OpenAI is building a gigawatt data center in India. So basically, science is slow but steady. AI is fast but dumb, and society is stuck in between like the world's least fun Oreo. Segment 8, culture and sports. The NFL announced new safety rules. Touchbacks to the 35-yard line. Both teams get overtime possessions, and refs now use Hawkeye tech for first downs, which means your uncle can stop screaming at the TV about chain measurements and start screaming at the computer. Progress. Also, violent gestures are banned, which is good because nothing says family sport like banning the thing that got most of us grounded in high school. In entertainment, SNL is bringing in YouTubers and TikTok stars to replace longtime cast members, which makes sense. Why spend 90 minutes watching sketches when you can get the same laugh from a 12-second video of a guy falling into a fountain? The fall movie slate is stacked. Conjuring Last Rites, Downton Abbey the grand finale, Wicked for Good, and Knives Out 3, Wake Up Dead Man. Honestly, nothing sums up 2025 better than a movie literally titled Wake Up Dead Man. In conclusion, so that's the world on September 3rd, 2025. Trump wants to be mayor, general, and judge all at once. China and Russia are basically doing synchronized swimming with nukes. Kraft Heinz is splitting like your divorced parents. Google won antitrust detention. Science is curing Parkinson's while AI collapses mid-sentence. And the NFL thinks banning throat/gestures will save America's youth. In other words, everything's falling apart, but at least we still have deep dish pizza and TikTok cats. See you tomorrow.